The red light is blinking, and that means we're recording the latest episode of Three Men and a Babyface. I'm Kaiser Soze. I'm joined, as always, with my boys down in Southern Florida. I got Smooth B25.
What's up?
My man, Neo Gotenks.
What's going on from the
And
bottom?
Chilling in South B. What's good?
What's up?
All right. So, first of all, guys, we got some news to announce. This is pretty cool. We actually got approached by the guys over at GameRaven.com, and it's pretty cool. We got to meet them and talk to them, and it was like, you know, they kind of tell us what they're about and their vision for their website. And it's like exactly what we're all about here in Three Men and a Babyface. So we figured, all right, man, we need to link up and do something. So I am proud this week to be brought to you guys by GameRaven.com. And guys, if you haven't been over there, make sure you do. Because if you watch our show through their site, you actually be entering into a sweepstakes. They're giving them copies of Dishonored 2. So definitely get on that website and get entered into the sweepstakes. And like our video and subscribe to our video, and you know what it is. Anyway, guys, that's the longest intro I've had. I want to get this thing moving. This week, we're going to talk about the Watchdogs 2 pre-orders. This is something that was brought up by my man, Sonic. Sonic, what's the deal for this week, man?
Yeah, man. So last week, there was an investor meeting with Ubisoft, and they kind of released this information that Watchdog 2 pre-orders are down. They're not where they had hoped it would be. And it got me thinking, like, why is Watch Dogs 2 pre-order so low, given the fact that it had a pretty good reception at E3? It looks fantastic. And it's in a new city, new main character. They seem to have fixed and written off all of their wrongs that Watch Dogs 2 had. So I'm just kind of wondering what's going on. So I want to pose it to you fellas today. Watch Dogs 2 pre-orders, why are they down?
I think it's a couple of things. I think gamers are smartening up on the whole pre-order thing that's been going on at the industry. Pre-order bonuses, extra missions. I've always seen those things as one of the stuff, 7 deadly sins of video games, along with, you know, on content, DLC, stuff you got to pay to unlock that's already on the disc, where companies are kind of pulling out content and then giving it to you, like, hey, if you pre-order it, we'll give you this. So I think gamers are smartening up. Kind of taking a wait-and-see approach, realizing that, hey, I don't need that extra skin. Let me wait and see how the game is.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if that's the case, is because, I mean, the pre-order problem is really Watch Dogs specific. I mean, if that were the case, we would have seen that happen with, like, Madden. We would have seen it happen with Dishonored 2. And not that I got the numbers in front of me, but what I've seen is specifically they've been talking about Watch Dogs. Like, I don't know if this is Ubisoft-centric, Ubi-hate-centric, which it very well could be. But nonetheless, is this – I guess let's start there. This is a Watch Dogs problem, right? This isn't a pre-order problem.
I think it's a Ubisoft problem. I mean, to be honest with you, because look, this might be both, right? I think it might be backlash because of Watch Dogs 1, right? And it also might be backlash because of Ubisoft doesn't have a really good track record of early releases and what their games look like on initial release. I mean, just let's take it back to The Division. The Division was like the #1 draft pick that blows out his knee in the first game.
Kwame Brown? Are we looking at a Kwame Brown situation?
That's what it was. It was amazing.
Looked good for a year.
And then a week later, it just became the worst game ever, right?
Well, you know, the way I would describe The Division is like The Division was off the chain until you reach Endgame. It didn't have any lasting appeal. Like that's where Destiny.
We all reached Endgame.
That's the only comparable game is Destiny, and where Destiny has you playing. It's the minute we get off, you're playing tonight. Like The Division, we got to level 30, and that was it.
Yeah, but I mean, and then not just that. So let's take it back a little bit further, right? Look at the last Assassin's Creed releases. I mean, I understand that you are the Assassin's Creed fan, but they've been broken on release. Really, really, really broken.
Which unfortunately has overshadowed how great the last Assassin's Creed actually was. Syndicate was really good, and I don't think anybody gave it enough credit.
But it actually hasn't been the last few. This really goes back to Unity. This is an Assassin's Creed Unity problem.
That's all it is.
That game was so broken that people just had no faith in Syndicate. Syndicate ended up being.
That's the thing, and that's the thing. So, in my opinion, that's where the pre-orders come in, right? Because people. The developers, they sell you their game and you look at them and you're like, okay, wow, this is a cool trailer or whatever. You pre-order it, and then what you get, oh my God, it's completely broken. Sometimes you got to wait 3 weeks before you can actually play the game that you pre-ordered, right?
I mean, you know what? I will say this, though, is that's a little bit exaggerated. This is part of that UB hate. You know what I mean? Like, this is just like, you guys are Miami, so let me bring up the Heat. This happened with the Electronic Arts.
No.
This happens with the Yankees, with the LA. When we hit this like Ubi hate, this was at the pinnacle of Ubisoft. This was where Black Flag was Game of the Year. Far Cry 3 all of a sudden got so incredibly well reviewed that it became a year franchise. They decided that year we had Child of Light, South Park. So really, these guys were riding high. And like everything, when you get to the top, ask Electronic Arts. I mean, we remember EA, all right? You get to the top, and all of a sudden, there's just a lot of haters around. And it's true. Listen, two big ones. One is the one you mentioned. It's Unity. Unity was broken. Me and my boy Sonic played co-op in that game. You know what that shit's like playing with 4 play? That shit was just stuttering the whole way. I mean, we beat it.
Yep.
I don't even want to say it's the top, because what's your explanation for Watchdogs?
Listen, but Watchdogs was great. The problem with Watchdogs, here's the big problem with Watchdogs.
You know what you're saying? You're saying what I got was great, but it's not what you got, what you thought you were going to get when you pre-ordered.
See, the biggest thing with Watchdogs 1, it was a good game. I mean, it has an 80 Metacritic score on PS4, 78 on Xbox One. I mean, for a new IP, that's really good. The game was pretty well received for the people who played it all the way through. I think a lot of people gave it a lot of backlash because it didn't look like the E3 build. People were freaking out about that, and they wrote it off immediately. But the people who played it, like myself, I mean, that was my game of the year a couple of years ago. You know,
but we're talking about pre-orders, though, right? We're talking about pre-orders. We're not talking about the game after you played it. It could have been a 10 out of 10 at the end of the day.
You were saying there was backlash from Watch Dogs 1. What I'm saying is Watch Dogs 1 was a good game. So I think Soze's, kind of hitting it a little bit where it's that Ubisoft hate. Because Watch Dogs 1, yes, there was backlash over the E3, but the game was good. But I think
let me explain the E3 thing to the people that don't know. What happened was a year and a half before the game released, we got our first view of Watch Dogs. We were also just getting like our first view of next-gen titles. This was like the first game that they showed Aiden on top of like a skyscraper, and he was communicating with people that were driving cars and doing different things on the street. And it was so high level, and we were literally saying the words were next-gen. We were like, this game could not be done on the 360. That was the Watch Dogs was amazing. It was my game of E3 that year. Then a year later, we started to see in E3 what the game actually looked like. And then there was a little bit of backlash, but still, the commercials, everything reflected the game that they got. That's why the hate was really all pre the release. The minute the game released, people enjoyed it. It wasn't broken like Unity. Unity was broken for 12 days.
Okay, but I
just literally, and that's why where I'm going with this is I think the biggest problem here is Watch Dogs 1. Watch Dogs 2 pre-orders has everything to do with Watch Dogs 1.
So I'm not gonna disagree with anybody's point. I think you guys are spot on the money. I think Watch Dogs 1 played a huge part in the pre-order numbers for Watch Dogs 2. But let me throw another little wrench into this situation right now. If you remember back when Watch Dogs 2 was announced, right? There were some Steam forums, and you guys may not have heard this, but there were some Steam forum topics that were talking about race. Okay, and I'm gonna read a couple posts from these Steam forum posts. One user says, "Why Marcus and not Aiden? I don't want to play as an affirmative action MC. Look at the demographics of San Francisco. It would be more plausible if I played as a homosexual or an Asian than some random black dude, considering they make up 6% of the population in San Fran." Let me give you another one, a second one. "Black people don't know how to use technology. This story is already stupid and don't make any sense." Okay, and I could keep going. So,
all right, well, listen, hold up. Let me address both of those real quick, all right? Those are two definitely different views here. The second one was definitely a bigoted comment. As well, the first one, listen, he didn't say anything to me that sounded like he said black people are inferior than any other race. It sounded to me like he was totally speaking of the region.
No,
so, I mean, the dude is like, imagine this dude is like gun-ho San Francisco. He's wearing the San Francisco flag.
A real negative comment.
I think that was
so. That was a sugarcoating of a really negative comment. He basically sugarcoated at the end something that wasn't cool. I mean,
so here's the deal. I do not believe that race is the sole reason why pre-orders are not meeting expectations for you.
Then why'd you bring it up?
I'm saying that it's a factor. It's a factor. Listen, we're 2 days removed from the presidential election, right? We elected Donald Trump as our next president of the United States of America, right? And what I think what that brought out is the fact that there are a lot of people out there who share much different views than the sort of integrated society that we fantasize about. So because we're now aware of that quote unquote white America, it's becoming, I think, more evident that their race is a factor for this particular discussion. It's a factor. It's worth talking about at least. I'm not gonna say that this is the reason, but it's worth talking about at least. So what's your take on it?
I agree with you on that too. I mean, you look at some of the other backlash in a similar situation. You know, when Finn was first shown in the Star Wars trailer, people started freaking out about that. In the comics, when they came out with a Black Spider-Man, people started freaking out about that. Just recently, Battlefield 1, when they had the black character on the cover, they were freaking out about that. The Annie remake, they were freaking out about that. So I definitely agree that it does play a part, but not the sole reason.
No, I mean, I'll take it a step further. Is if you ask me, all right, you did ask me why the pre-orders were a problem. I would have named 3 things, all of them Ubisoft related, before I would have gotten to the racial thing. And I don't think that it's not even worth talking about. It did, but just like any other black character in any other game. You know, like I don't think that would stop the pre-orders at all.
So
I think that
right now, I think I'm gonna agree with Sonic, and I would go as far as to say, the more I think about it, the more I actually think that the race plays a big part. Because here's the thing, it's not just race, right? Like, I don't think you even mentioned it, but the main character is also gay. I mean, so
really?
So at least from what I've read. Now, here's the thing. Let me give some background. And I actually did some research because when I first heard about this, I was like, wow, this is kind of bonkers, right? I wonder if this might be a knee-jerk reaction, right, by Ubisoft, by the developers, because and Smooth, tell me at any point if I'm wrong with this. I heard that Watchdogs 1 was really white, like was really, really, really white. And there was 2 supporting characters, right? There was an Asian guy who basically did nothing to the plot, right? And then there was one portrayal of a black guy who was basically just a hired thug for the boss. So they basically showed the white bad guys, right, were in high rises in buildings.
Nah, man, Neo, squash that, man, squash that. You're totally talking off speculation here. Nah, none of that.
No, hold on, Adam played the game. Can you tell me if what I'm saying is wrong?
Did you feel that way, Adam?
No. Tell me if that is how it was. For example, in terms of minority representation.
Listen, right? Man, Ubisoft, before every game, Ubisoft puts a gigantic thing that says, hey, this game is of varied faiths and religions. We have people from all different nationalities.
Once again,
we have a disclaimer because their games sometimes talk about like the Catholic Church. They've killed the Pope in their games. So they have games where they talk about Constantinople and Israel.
So here's the thing. I think that you're blindly defending when I've actually done research, and I'm asking for Adam's input.
I played the game. You're doing research. I'm telling you, I played the game.
You've played the game. So tell me, what other supporting characters are actually black in the game aside from the dude named Iraq?
First of all, he had more supporting characters. There was also a chick, and there was this.
That's a chick who's not black, who's not a minority. Next person.
Listen. Right now you're like nitpicking it. It's different when you play the game and then
No. What I'm saying is this. They came up with a game that, in my opinion, wasn't that diverse. So in a knee-jerk reaction, they go and make part 2 very diverse, which, once again, I'm not faulting them for.
Oh, I get that. That's fine.
What I'm saying is that it's a knee-jerk reaction and sort of saying, okay, well, our first game wasn't that diverse. We probably got a few complaints, right? And now I'm going to move it and now insert diversity. But then maybe people were not ready for that. You know, I don't know. It kind of sucks, but it's one of those harsh realities in the world now.
So obviously, I'm Dominican, but I'm the most light-skinned fucking Dominican y'all know. So you know what I'm saying? So guys are coming at it from an angle maybe that I can't understand or whatever. But I'll tell you this much is, I've obviously being somebody that was raised in a black neighborhood or whatever, I feel like I'm somebody that always sees that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And is it a factor? I think it's a factor like anytime there's any black protagonist in a video game. That's all I'm getting at is I feel like it's a non-story. There is racism there. Listen, Donald Trump, this is a new USA, right? The new Trump. The guy has, whatever you think about him, he definitely said divisive things. You can't deny that. He said divisive things, and we elected him. We elected him, all right? So that's who we are. We have some people here that have those type of thoughts. I just don't think that Watch Dogs is something we need to like isolate and say, oh, this game in particular was because of black. That sounds to me like we're trying to make news out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because
okay. I
don't feel it. I would tell you like it's all white people, man.
Let me just give you.
When I was playing Watch Dogs 1, I mean, I also don't think that way either. When I'm playing the game, I'm not worrying about the representation in the game or whatever. That's not the way my mind works. I was just having fun playing the game, so I wasn't looking for those type of things. And like,
no, but that's awesome. But let me take you back. Right when GTA San Andreas dropped, there was the same issues. People were like, "Whoa, the protagonist in the new GTA is black." Oh, shoot.
There was.
You know what I mean? So
I think what's going to happen here. So I think it may have attributed to some of the pre-orders, but once the game comes out and the scores come out, people are gonna buy the game. From everything that we've been hearing, the previews and stuff like that, it looks to be an amazing game. So I think people are gonna buy it. I think because of the things that we discussed, we're kind of, had the pre-orders down a little bit. But once the game comes out, people are gonna buy it, just like it did San Andreas.
I agree.
100%. 100%.
Real quick though, they switched the protagonist on us, right? That's not the same dude that we saw at E3. Like this dude it's a definitely different character model.
Yeah.
Like he was black before. I'm just saying, like it's a totally different. It caught me off guard when I saw gameplay today.
But look, I just wanna say this so that it doesn't come across the wrong way, right? When I have my assessment of Watch Dogs 1, right? I see it as let's just say a stereotypical game. A stereotypical portrayal of certain characters and certain demographics. I actually applaud Ubisoft for what they're doing in Watch Dogs 2 because they're actually making it more diverse. Like, I think that that's a win for everyone, right? But because, I mean, for example, we don't have that many minority hackers that are or minority characters that are shown with technology in a good light, So I think that's awesome.
Well, that's what's great about this show. This show is all diverse people, and we are on technology, all college educated with master's degrees. We do what we do. But here's my deal, all right? And Neo, I'm glad you said that. But just to single out Watch Dogs I don't look for it either. I don't think anybody here looks for it. I hope that people at home understand that. Nobody here is looking, and we're not counting how many black people, how many Latinos are. And I think if it was a problem, we would feel it. That's all I'm saying about Watch Dogs 1. Like, if it was whited out, I would be like, damn, man, when's the last time I saw a dude on this? Like, where the nigga at? You know what I mean?
Like,
I would be like, how come every nigga here's thugged out? I didn't get that feeling. And I think I would have seen it.
That's the thing. It's the type of black that Watch Dogs 2 is portraying. It's not the bombastic, histrionic black that you see in other video games like Gears of War with Coltrane. You know what I mean? He's like bombastic and he's over the top. That's not the type that they're going for. If you kind of watch the trailers, you see Marcus in this game is a very subdued, kind of like a weird kid. He seems like an outsider, kind of like a black emo nerd kid. Yeah. And it's really cool to see how they're portraying that. And I kind of see this the way that Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, or even the reboot came out, where they didn't over-sexualize Lara Croft. They made her human. And it's to the point now where when the second game came out, we don't even talk about her as a female lead character in a video game. You notice that. We just talk about how good the game is. So I think this is an amazing precedent that it's setting for black male and female characters moving forward. I think this is a super progressive movement, and it's only going to get better. I mean, if you want to go other entertainment mediums, we've got Spider-Man next year with a black Mary Jane. You know what I mean? This is all going to add to that. Rumored. Yeah, I hope it happens. But it's really, really good to see, and I'm happy that you're portraying him that
and
way.
really, I mean, it's great because, like you said, it's an African American who's a nerd, which is really what my man Sonic Nerd is all about. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, if we do like a color palette change on your headband, you kind of look like my man Marcus.
It's true.
No, real talk, man. How dope would it be to play Watch Dogs 4-player? Imagine the four of us riding around like hacking shit. Like imagine doing street races and we're hacking street lights and
the crazy part about it, which is why I think I agree with you, it would be awesome, is because it's an accurate portrayal of what is now. That's how life is now. I mean, look, we're all different shades of color, right? We all have different backgrounds. We're all technologically savvy. That's just
America
what it is now, which is awesome.
Welcome to Team USA. But all right, man. Watch Dogs 2 in co-op. You guys don't think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. But that's actually what I want to talk about this week, man. Here's the fantasy. Boom. I'm surprising you guys. You guys at home should know they have no idea what I'm about to spit out. This is totally unrehearsed. This is off the cuff. Right before the show starts, I come up with this. And today what we're doing is a fantasy. All right, so basically, I was thinking Watch Dogs, right? Are there any games that you can think of? Pitch to me the game that you would like to see that's a single-player campaign that you would like to see as a co-op. It could be couch co-op or it could be online co-op. But think of a game. You're going to pitch it. We're going to pitch it to each other. This is one of those executive pitches like we used to do on our first shows. What we're going to do is we're each going to go around. We're going to pitch what game we want to see in co-op. And then at the end, we're going to play the executives, and we're going to choose which game to make happen. So we're going to vote on our game. All right? Makes sense? You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to start off with my man Smooth because he's been too quiet for a minute over there. Smooth, what single-player campaign do you want to play with me, Neo, and Sonic?
My number one pick, I'm going with the Batman series. So Batman, Arkham Knight, Arkham City, all those games, I think would be amazing as Robin playing as the other person or some of the other DC characters. Catwoman, I know the last Batman game had a lot of DLC with other characters, but having them all play at the same time, I think that'd be cool.
So you're talking about like the whole Bat family. So we're talking Nightwing, Red Robin.
Yep.
I'm totally like exposing people how nerdy I am. Like,
hey, can I ask a quick question? Can I ask a quick question? Is there gonna be like a 4-player VR component where we can all like drop keys or like open doors together?
Oh,
anything like that? Are there any like gonna be anything like that?
Did that for real.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to throw that out.
VR component, and it would blow your mind. It would blow your mind.
Smooth. Wait a second. I'm sorry, did I miss it? Did you say it was like an Arkham Asylum game? Because there's a shitload of Batman games.
Any one of them. I mean, they're all.
No, man.
Right,
you got to be specific. It could be a kart game. It could be Batmobiles and shit.
Arkham Asylum.
No, I mean, I'd agree. That the Arkham series, I mean, put it this way. The Arkham series, I agree because that was actually my choice too. I got to go with my backup, but now, but listen, that Arkham series is amazing. The combat, it's almost like screaming for another player to be able to play at the same time. Good choice, man.
All right, well then, Neil, go ahead. Why don't you tell us what your backup is in?
Okay. All right. Okay. It would probably be, so this game, this IP has co-op, but not in the game that I want and the game that I'm pitching. So I am pitching Resident Evil 1 co-op.
Really?
I want 2 people to start at different sides of the house, of the mansion. And their goal is to try to get together because obviously, you know, two people going against all the zombies in the house is better than one. But I think that game could actually work with co-op, with 2 people, just because there's enough. Even if you went into Resident Evil 2 where they up the zombie count, I think it would really work. You literally give the same amount of ammo. The same amount of ammo that you had as one player. You got to split them in between 2 people.
Let me tell you why that's brilliant. Because the main complaint that people have had about Resident Evil games having co-op is that it goes from a survival horror type experience to now just being a fun shooter. If you separate the 2 players, now you still retain that horror aspect.
Sure.
But then imagine if like one person had to feed the other intel to solve a puzzle because on their end they may see something that helps them solve a puzzle on their end so that they can get closer to each other. And then once they get to each other, then they can team up to fight a boss or something. Like that could be awesome. That is super cool. That's next gen.
You know what that reminds me of really quick is Resident Evil Revelations, the first one that came out, because that was exactly like that, where you had one person on one part of the ship, one person on the other, and you're playing. So it's a single player game, but you're playing as each of them at separate times.
That's a pretty good idea you guys just came up with and stole from Capcom. Well done, guys. You don't like this idea?
No. But it's different. One thing is single player. I'm talking about 2 players, right? We could but imagine you start off in the mansion. Let's say you start off in the mansion, checkpoint. The other person loads up. You could play it online. And literally you guys have to talk to each other.
All right, well, so that's a totally different game, right, that you guys are talking about. Let me tell you why I hate it, all right? I hate the idea of that. the first few Resident Evils until Resident Evil 4, a big part of what made that shit scary had to do with the camera angles and the fact that you had no control. They would put the camera like in the top right. You wouldn't know what's around the corner. Like a fucking crow would fly out of anywhere. The camera might move because a hunter flies by. Like a lot of the scariness of that game, because it was very simple. Besides the resource management, was the cameras. And if you got two people, it would just expose too much of it. So while I like that idea of a game, which is some new like co-op puzzle game, if it's the original Resident Evil as co-op, I don't want that. Ever. No, thank you.
Oh, no. I don't think that any of that has to change. The camera.
Come on,
angle,
Sonic. We're just going to glance right over Neo.
We're cutting you off, Neil. We're cutting you off. I'm going with Metal Gear Solid 5. I believe that should have been a co-op game from the jump. That is, first of all, if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid 5, it's basically like an open world stealth game. And the camps that are in these maps are pretty huge, and there's like a million different vantage points. Now, I feel like that kind of a co-op experience in the context of Metal Gear Solid would work. But then, as I'm talking, I realized that Ghost Recon, what is it? The new one that's coming out next year, is kind of a similar concept where it's like 4 soldiers in like an open world kind of soldier environment. But I still think within the context of Metal Gear, they have more fun. There's more gadgets. There's just cooler stuff going on.
All right, so I never played that game. I've never played that game, but I'm thinking Splinter Cell Blacklist, something like that. That sound right to you?
Yeah, but the thing is, Splinter Cell was linear, whereas
yeah, I'm saying like something along those lines. No, listen, dude, Splinter Cell was an amazing co-op game. Did you play the co-op levels?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Me and Smooth played it, man. It was great.
Yeah, like you could line everyone up, and then just so you can get a perfect silent kill, you and your teammate would synchronize and be like, ready, 3, 2, 1, and you would take out like 7 heads, all at once. Yeah. I mean, just an amazing co-op experience. All right, so without knowing Metal Gear Solid, I get it. And whatever that Ghost Recon game is, we need to all get that shit day one. That sounds amazing. If we got
it comes out next March. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It looks good. It looks really good.
All right, so mine is no surprise. I'm going to do this to counterbalance all the Ubisoft hate we did today. And no surprise, it would be a full working co-op Assassin's Creed game. Like the few times, it was sometimes when me and Sonic actually had a really good time. And it was because of the synchronization, where we would both be like, hey, I'm on top of the building. You're on top of the building. And we would each at the same time dive down and kill the guards. And we would play some of the 4-player co-ops or whatever. The idea of being like super stealthy, but like sort of coordinated stealth, like sort of riding around. I guess that's sort of what you're saying with Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, except in that sense, there's more gadgets. And in Assassin's Creed, it's more like a story. So, So I get you. So along the same lines.
In other words, it sounds like we all want another Splinter Cell game. I mean, that's really what we're saying.
No. What is your selective hearing,
Splinter Cell Blacklist 2. That's what it is.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm an Ubisoft guy, but Jesus Christ, man. You have some
I really like that Metal Gear Solid. I could see somebody being a spotter.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You always had a character that was with you at all times. You had a buddy, right? It was a dog, or it was the machine thing, or it was the quiet, it was the sniper. I mean, that could have easily been another player, easily. You know what I mean?
So let's do it, man. Let's vote around. I think that's a solid choice. I'll go ahead and if I didn't vote for mine, I'm gonna go ahead and vote for Sonic. So let's go down the line. Sonic, who are you voting for? Can't vote for your own. Who's got the best co-op pitch?
I'm actually going with Smooth, man. Batman.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Neo.
I gotta go with Batman.
Batman. Two Batman. And Smooth, you can't vote for yourself, but I think you won already. Who you vote for?
For the Splinter Cell knockoff, so yours.
Excellent. So that was 2 for yours, 1 for mine, 1 for Sonic. I guess we got our vote. That's it, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up. I want to, as always, thank everybody for showing up and watching us and making us part of your day. I hope you went ahead and clicked that like. I hope you went ahead and clicked that subscribe. And if you came to us from cosgamer.com, make sure you go hit those guys up. We appreciate that. And most definitely, hit our boys up. Let's give a round of applause real quick for our boys over at GameRaven.com. Go hit those guys up. Hit them up because they actually got a sweepstakes, like I said, so you can get a free copy of Dishonored 2 for just watching our show. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. Any of you guys want to say peace? I'm out of here.
Later, y'all.
Deuces.
Peace.